Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Small Engines Questions and Answers for Friday, December 23rd, 2011. One more Q&A to go and it's the new year. Before I start off today, I want to thank everybody who sent me some gifts. I also want to thank you guys for all your support and for continuing to watch all my videos. And I want to welcome all the new subscribers as well. And if you're not familiar with this Friday's episode, each Friday I answer some small engine questions that I receive from my YouTubers. And if you keep watching every Friday, you might just find that your questions will be answered in these episodes. And before I start off today, I just want to show you guys that we have no snow here whatsoever. This is really odd for this time of year in this part of Ontario. Usually we could have up to 2 feet of snow by now and it would be really cold. But today it's not bad. It's like +2. It's not even that cold. There's no snow. It doesn't even look in the forecast like we're going to get much snow anyways. And it's been raining a lot. It'll make for a short winter. It won't be good for a lot of small engine shops because they're going to lose a lot of business. And it's given me more time to make some videos for you guys. So I'll get right into questions for today. The first question is a YouTuber asked me if there's much point to having a light on a snowblower. Is it just there for show, or do you guys actually use the light when you're snowblowing? Well, I find that there's two purposes to having a light on a snowblower. First of all, it's a safety feature. If you're snowblowing in an area where there's more cars, they're going to be more visible because that light is on all the time. And the light does come in handy if you're going to snowblow at night. Oftentimes I end up having to go outside when it's dark because the snowplow went by and I don't want to leave it overnight because it's going to be rock hard. So yes, the light is there for a purpose and it does come in handy. Now if you buy the cheapest snowblower, you may not have a light on it, but most snowblowers nowadays do come with a light on them. In my next question, a YouTuber emailed me the other day asking me what kind of oil should he put in his lawn tractor. He uses his lawn tractor to plow snow in the winter and he uses it in the summer to cut the grass. So he's wondering what kind of oil should I use in the winter and what kind should I use in the summer. Well, in the winter time you should use a 5W20 or a 5W30. You can use synthetic forms of this oil as well. And in the summer, you should use an SAE30 or an HD30 oil, it's called, with the detergent in it. If you buy the HD30, it's got the detergent in it, it's ready to go. The 5W20 and 5W30 oils are much thinner, that's why I recommend them in the winter. And the SAE or HD30 oil is much thicker, that's why it's good for the summertime. Now last week I showed some Tecumseh motors that you can use on a go-kart, and a good point was brought out by some of the YouTubers is that if you do use a snowblower engine on a go-kart, make sure to install an air filter. That's because these snowblower engines come with no air filter because none is needed in the wintertime. But if you're going to use a Tecumseh engine like this, for example, you would want to take this cover off and attach an air filter to it. If you don't have an air filter on your engine, you can end up wrecking it in the long run because a lot of dust, sand, and dirt will eventually work its way into the oil, and then it's going to be gritty in there inside your engine and all the parts are going to wear out prematurely. So thanks again to all you YouTubers for reminding us of putting an air filter on your snowblower engine if you use it on a go-kart. Another question I often get is sometimes YouTubers tell me I've got a bunch of mixed gas from the summertime that I used in my chainsaw and my weed eater. Can I use this old gas and stick it in my car or my snowblower? Well, you could use a tank maybe in your snowblower. I don't recommend you doing that because it can cause a lot of carbon on the piston and the valves, and if that carbon breaks up, eventually it can get inside the cylinder, scratch your cylinder, and your engine's not going to have the same compression that it should have. But if you're really stuck, you've got no gas, there's a snowstorm out there, and you have to get your driveway blown, all you've got is mixed gas, well, go ahead and use it. Once isn't going to cause a problem, but don't use mixed gas in your snowblower on a constant basis. Now when it comes to using mixed gas in your car, you're better off to ask a car mechanic about that. You can go to Eric the Car Guy's channel, Liam Auto Mechanic as well, he answers questions. You can ask them, I'm sure they know more about what the potential problems could be if you use mixed gas in your car. I haven't heard good things about using mixed gas in a car. I personally wouldn't do it, but if you're still wondering, talk to an actual car mechanic. He'll be able to offer you better answers than I can on that. Usually you can get rid of your gas at a local auto shop. What I do with my old gas, because I hate throwing it out, is I save it in containers like this, and then I'll use it to clean engine parts. It'll save on your parts washer fluid, then you can just discard it. And if you're cleaning something really dirty, you can use it liberally. Now, if you use old gas to clean engine parts, make sure that there are no sparks or any source of ignition around your work area. But it does do an awesome job to clean dirty chainsaws and engine parts. The next question is one I often get, and people often ask me, why does my snowblower only work on the choke? As soon as I turn the choke off, it dies. Well, if your snowblower only runs on the choke, then that means there's a fuel issue. The carburetor is probably dirty. You may have bad gas like water in it. Maybe it's got old gas. So there's a number of issues that could be causing that, but usually it's all related to the fuel. So if this happens to you, for example, and you have a Tecumseh engine like this, you would have to take this cover off and take the carb off, clean it, maybe replace the carb kit in it, the float if it's got gas inside of it. And when you take the bowl off, if it's corroded like this, you can either clean it or replace it. I opt to replace the bowl because it's so cheap to replace. Sometimes even after cleaning the corrosion off the bowl, it's not going to be smooth, and you can end up having an air leak there between the bowl and the carburetor. And by the way, this is where the O-ring goes in between the bowl and the carburetor. So if it only runs on the choke, you turn the choke off, it dies, and you replace the spark plug, it's not going to make any difference. You have to address the issue of the fuel. So that's about all the time I have for today. I want to thank you guys for all your support. Thanks for watching faithfully all my videos. And all your comments are very much appreciated. Sorry I cannot get to all your answers because I'm just a bit too busy right now. Have yourselves a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.